Greetings, friends. Today is Wednesday, August 19th, 2020. Some of you reached out to me last week on my Wednesday message, and instead of August, I think I said October. I was making sure I wasn't too stressed out. It is a time of having Fridays of stress, isn't it? Indeed. We've been in this COVID pandemic situation for quite some time now, and it's become wearisome for many. And so we have to continue to look at how are we caring for ourselves? How are we caring for one another? And how can we continue to do that? This evening, the Congregation Council will be meeting together and talking about our ministry plan that we've had in action, and then the new components of our ministry plan as we look towards the fall and continuing during this time of COVID-19. So more about that when we have more information that are finalized at tonight's meeting, but I'll be telling you more about that later. But for today, I just wanted us to focus for a moment on the epistle, the writing of St. Paul that is prescribed for this particular Sunday. It's from Romans chapter 12. It's the first 8 verses, but I'm only going to read the first 4 for us to focus on today. Sisters and brothers, I beg you through the mercy of God to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God. This is your spiritual act of worship. Do not conform yourselves to this age, but be transformed by the renewal of your minds, so that you may judge what God's will is, what is good, pleasing, and perfect. That's a tall order. But it is really poignant for our time at the moment. That our whole body, mind, and soul, and heart is our temple. God created us, and we walk around with our temple. We are able to worship wherever we are. Able to worship with our heart, our mind, our soul, and our strength, or body, right? And so part of our sacrifice here is to do what is necessary to develop those parts of our being, developing our heart, developing our mind, developing our body, right? And developing our soul, our heart set, if you will, just like a mind set, a soul set, if you will, right? And a strength set, a body set. Right? And so it specifically talks about do not be conformed to this age, but be transformed by the renewal of our minds. So much of how we care for ourselves and care for our neighbor, how we cultivate our heart and cultivate our soul work, begins in the mind. It is the primary filter through which things go to the heart. Now, there's other avenues there for certain, but it is the primary filter, and it can also become the primary valve to hold out love, to hold out God's love. So it's really important that we transform our minds, that we take care of our minds, that we take care of our bodies, right? And so, but by the way we think and how we think, begins the process of caring for our body. I want to tell you a story. This pandemic has been the culmination of a period of time for the last 18 months. So for a year prior, I had been working on changing various ways I think and move and way I care for my body. And the pandemic actually has offered me a time to even focus more clearly on this work. And in it, by the food that I've eaten and the exercise that I have undertaken, the way that I move through my day and think, has afforded me the possibility to go off of 3 major medications. I no longer have to take high blood pressure medication. I no longer have to take cholesterol medication. I no longer take any kind of medication for mood. Now, this has been a 1.5 year long process under 2 different doctors' care, actually more than that, and a variety of other support. But a key element to all of this has been for me the watching and being able to work with my mind. And so that involves one. What are the things that are putting in? You know, you heard the old computer adage, garbage in, garbage out, right? What kind of garbage am I not putting in anymore, right? So things, for example, is I have limited when I watch the news and what news I watch or read. I actually prefer to read the news and do it only at certain times. One, that I have eliminated a significant portion of social media. That's more garbage in. Someone said that social media is really the death to the soul. That's been my experience. It's not been that enlightening. There's been some nice and cute and funny things, but ultimately for me, it's not been any kind of life-giving thing. It's been the opposite. So the other thing is how much entertainment I watch. Now, during this time of confinement, it definitely can be really open up the possibility to watch a lot of things. But I've really taken a note to only spend specific certain amount of times watching any kind of screen program and try to instead read or write or talk to people on the phone or talk to people in other forms of communication, to have things that stimulate and engage my mind, to do mind puzzles, right? These are really important things. But other things have to do with food in, right? And that's been a process. It's not been perfect. It's not been, exact, but I'm very sensitive to sugar. I have come to the determination, as well as some other things. And just something with too much sugar can really wreck my mind for the day, from making me tired, lethargic, a headache, make me more prone to frustration, anger. And so it's been a time of transformation. So a key thing that has helped me with this is spending an hour every day minimum. And if I broke it down, at least 20 minutes of exercise, that whatever works for you, but that makes me sweat. And then 20 minutes of a combination of prayer, usually from a book, which we're going to have a series about that in the fall, actually. So stay tuned, how to connect with that. And meditation, prayer meditation. And then part of that also sometimes is journaling. It's very important to write out what I'm thinking and the thoughts I'm having, and to work stuff out and to plan. And then some time just of learning, of more reading and understanding something new and something inspiring. I've taken to some inspirational stories, as well as some autobiographies that have been really helpful. So friends, I really want to encourage you to make use of this time for you and your benefit. If you're interested in this, if you'd like to know more about this, please reach out to me in email. And I may come up with a small series of little presentations and some activities for us to stay focused, and so that we may continue together to renew our heart, our mind, our soul, and our strength together. I hope you have a really good Wednesday, August 19th. I'll talk to you soon. God bless you, and all that is good come to you. Amen.